coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.
Hey man, shout out everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. Boom. I appreciate the support. Let's go, let's get it, man. We're on the road to 150K. We've been on that road for a long time, man. We've been driving. Y'all know when I drive for a long time, I get sleepy. You dig? Let's go, man. Let's get this meet and greet popping, man. Big love to all my subscribers. Big love to all my members, man. Love is love, man. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Let's make it happen. I'm looking forward to this meet and greet, man. 2026, man. I want to have it soon as possible. So go tell a friend to tell a friend, man, to come over here, because this way is it, man. Word up, son. Listen, man, shout out to the person in the Morning Mud that put this story on my brain this morning. And they asked me, have I ever been in the penitentiary with a dude that was, you know, a gangster or whatever, and he had a brother in the penitentiary that was also a boy, or that was, you know, gay? And the answer is yes. I know a couple of situations like that. You know, I'll speak on a couple today, but I know a few situations like that. And I'm quite sure that's an awkward situation because, like I said, in my mind, family is family, and no matter what, you know what I'm saying? You know, I can't imagine if I was in that situation, but I do know for a fact if I was in that situation, then I wouldn't care what my brother was. I'm going to still defend my brother like that's my brother, you dig? And I used to have nightmares when I was in penitentiary, man. Real talk about my brother, you know, being in the penitentiary, although my brother is not gay at all, but I used to just have nightmares because of seeing dudes in the penitentiary that was just regular brothers, man, and how, you know, once you get to knowing how the system is, how dangerous it is, how things unfold, and you be wondering, will your brother be able to see these angles? Will he be able to see these, you know, these traps? And how, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. I didn't want nobody in my family to be locked up around me, because I feel like I'm going to defend my family members even quicker and faster and be more aggressive than I am with myself, because I know what I'm going to do. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. I know, like, what my brother do, push come to shove. I know my brother bust your head. You know what I'm saying? I know that for a fact. You know what I'm saying? But it just used to just be an anxiety there. When you going through so much in there and you like, man, I'm glad that, you know what I'm saying, or my brother ain't got to go through this, or what would I do if my brother had to go through this, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. And like I said, I knew a lot of brothers in the penitentiary. Over my 33 years, I met a lot of brothers in the penitentiary. I done been in the penitentiary when it's 3 brothers. All of them in the penitentiary together, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I can only imagine how their mom felt, but crazy, crazy work, right? But the first people that I would think about, and I did not notice at the time, which is crazy. My cellie, Super D, I spoke about Super D before. R.I.P. Super D, man. He was one of my first cellies on Augusta. And he was a homie. He was from out the way. And Super D was like you know what I'm saying? He was a real live gangster, man. At the time, Super D, we was on Augusta. Super D was like one of the only dudes on the compound at the time. One out of maybe 2, maybe possibly 3 that can get, you know what I'm saying, that sack in, that dope. And yeah, that you know what I'm saying, that nod, you know what I'm saying? And that is such a big commodity in prison. So Super D stayed in the money, he stayed in the mix, he stayed fly, you know what I'm saying, had everything you could have. I can remember when Super D had got some now you got to think, man, this is 88, 89. I can remember when Super D had got some high top suede K-Swiss. That's a DC thing, you did. But he got them Jones in. So it was like he always, you know what I'm saying, even in the penitentiary, Super D was, you know what I'm saying, doing his thing because he was getting so much money hand over fist that dope gonna bring money in hand over fist in the penitentiary. I'm talking about real talk. You take a little bit and get a whole lot. And he was doing that, right? He had the Super Tims. He had all this stuff that you could possibly have in the penitentiary because he was getting money. And it just so happened that I ended up being cellies with him. You know, this is around the time that I first met Dixon. You know what I'm saying? All of us was in the same block, right? So I done told y'all, like, Super D a gangster though. Super D is the same dude that I told you when Big Fleetwood owed him some money, and Fleetwood was playing with the money, and then he like, look, man, I'm gonna pull up on this band, man, you with me or whatever. I'm like, boom, you know what I'm saying? Say less, he my seller. I grab Bethlehem, and we catch Fleetwood in the stairway, and like, you know what I'm saying, ready to, you know, and this is how your mind be when you in the penitentiary. You just gonna get caught up in the life, not knowing like really, I mean, in reality, all reality, you end up using that thing right there, you might not never get out the penitentiary. But I'm in the penitentiary and I'm sitting on L notes. This my celly, this a homie. This is how he say they moving in the penitentiary. When it's time to go down, it's going down. It's just like that. So I'm not even thinking about the future because I don't even know if I got a future. I'm thinking about the right now, the here and now, surviving right now. So me and Super D, we got like brothers, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we gonna go to war for each other, whatever the case may be. Okay, at the same time, they had a boy that was named Sade, right? And Sade was like a popular boy on the compound. Like dudes was at him, wanted to be with him, trying to get at him. The dudes that was in that game, right? Now I knew about him like namesake, but man, you at this time I'm so green in the penitentiary. I'm new. I still got a street mind where as to once you do a certain amount of time, and I done told y'all this many times, if you in the penitentiary, if you're homophobic, you better learn the way to deal with it because the homosexuals in the penitentiary will definitely F your life up. You dig? They will have you crossed up, mixed up, and crossed out. You know what I'm saying? You get the, yeah, or you end up being in some, you know what I'm saying, some of them type of fights where you might, you know what I'm saying, you might have to take somebody out or get took out. If you discriminating against them because there's so many jokers in there that's going to go hard for them. The administration is going to go hard for them. So if they oppose you, you ain't going to make it, champ. I'm telling you, you ain't going to make it. And it ain't like you got to be with it, but you got to have the respect for them like you had the respect for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So I knew of Sade but didn't know them. But I had heard jokers on the compound, oh man, such got head bust open down there. What happened, man? He was messing with Sade and Sade, man, and wood. So the name was popping. You know what I'm saying? They was known, and I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, young man, then I'm like, man, these jokers in here fighting over dudes. It was like, you know what I'm saying? It was mind-boggling to me, but I'm learning. I'm like, this is what goes on. You know what I'm saying? So this whole time, Super D is my celly, right? And Sade is on the camp, but down in the other end of the building, and you heard all of this type of tomfoolery that's going on because in the penitentiary, whatever happens, you gonna hear about it, especially if it's some violence, it's some bloodshed, you gonna hear about it, right? So fast forward years later, I'm on Greensville, right? And I'm in the pod with Sade, and Sade is messing with a dude, and I ain't gonna say the dude's name. I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is just a side note. The dude that Sade was messing with in the cell with his quote unquote so-called man actually was married to a famous athlete that you all know, mother. At the time, was married to a famous athlete that you all know and love, mother. This was the athlete mother's husband at the time. And he in the cell with a boy. You did? And yeah, in a full-blown relationship. And that boy was Sade, right? So, but it was a volatile thing. They used to be going back and forth, arguing all the time, arguing, beefing, cussing each other out. You know what I'm saying? Out in the cell and outside the cell. And the situation was because the dude that was supposed to be the so-called man, he worked for the building sergeant, which everybody knew that the building sergeant was gay. You know what I'm saying? But he ran the building. He had him as his personal secretary. So word on the street or word on the yard and in the pod, word on the yard and in the pod that they up there freaking and doing all other types of stuff. Him and the sergeant, right? Because they dudes that knew the sergeant from Southampton receiving and this, that, and third. Said the sergeant one of them old freak members that like even in receiving, he used to be trying to get dudes a little money to, you know, look at their pecker and all that type of stuff. This joker got promoted. He a sergeant there. So this is what the word on the street was. So when you put two and two together, he messed with the boys. He in the cell with the boy and he worked for him. And they be all up in the elevator and here, there. What did you got him for his secretary for? So, yeah, that's what the thing was. So, Sade and him used to be arguing about that all the time, till one time, you know, it came to a head. They was arguing in there. They almost got the rumbling in the block over that situation. And they was cussing each other out and getting all up in each other's face. And the police said something and they ended up, you know what I'm saying, locking Sade up. And Sade get locked up and get moved. They in the hole, they get moved. Then the old boy, he stayed in the cell. Somebody put somebody else in the cell with him. He ended up about a couple of months later. Everybody speculated that Sade dropped the bomb on him or went back there and put the, you know, the battery in the people back. The administration told him, look, they up there, whatever. And they ended up catching him in the elevator with the sergeant, you know, doing some ungodly stuff. This is a true story there. I'm trying to tell y'all. Yeah, so the sergeant ended up getting late, getting fired, this, that, and the third dude go to hole, get shipped up off the compound, blah, blah, blah. Mind you, I told you this dude was married to a famous athlete's mother when all of this is going on. True story. So, all of this happened, you know, in my presence I'm around this stuff. Never did I know until Dixon told me that Super D and Sade was brothers. They got the same daddy, from the same city, from the same hood. They is actually brothers. I never knew that. And I'm in the cell with Super D. And we on the compound when Sade was on it, he never mentioned that. I think he like disowned him because of what he was into. He didn't claim him. He didn't say nothing. But Dixon told me it's 100% fact, because they from the same city. Say 100% fact. That's his brother. I say, what? Blew my mind. Like, I'm like, I say, bro, he said, I'm positive. And then when I started thinking about it, and I remember what Super D looked like, and I look at Sade, even though he was on that, that whatever he was on, yeah, I'm like, he said, think about it, bro. They got features. He said, that's their brothers, bro. He said he didn't claim them, so he didn't never, you know what I'm saying? He said, but dudes knew. I said, I ain't know. You know what I'm saying? But so it be like that. It depends on, you know, how they gonna curve. Because like I say, Super D was well respected. If he would have, you know, said, like, this is my brother, if you do something to him with it, but I guess he let him fend for himself because it was a fact shot. They was in some volatile situations during this point in time. And he never intervened, never brought it up, never said anything. You know what I'm saying? And that just was shocking to me. That Dixon, you know, unveiled that to me, though. He said definitely true. You know, but, you know, this the penitentiary, man. You got to pick and choose your battles. And I guess he say that was something he wasn't willing to deal with, even though that was his blood brother. You did? So, now, I know I told y'all a story before about Jangalang. You know what I'm saying? Jangalang. And Jangalang had a brother on the same compound. And Jangalang gay as a $9 bill. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But he also was a con artist. He's a con artist gay dude. But everybody knew he was gay. But he doing all that stuff like Jangalang try to come on, nigga, and get your hand off. One of them. He'll shoot a shot at everybody on some freaky deaky shit. Freaky deaky stuff. And you gotta check him. You gotta check him. You know what I'm saying? But after you check him, he'll pipe down. But you gotta check him. You know what I'm saying? So now he had a brother on the compound who was a flat out hustler. Yeah, Big Will. Big Will was a flat. Big Will was the oil man. Big Will got all the oil on the compound. And if y'all don't know what oil is, I'm talking like Muslim oil, you know what I'm saying? But I know it may sound like something small out here in the penitentiary. That was big money. I'm talking big money. I'm talking about thousands and thousands of dollars if you get that oil in. You get all that stuff, man. I didn't even know nothing about this stuff till I'm in the penitentiary. You know, you get Droop, what is it, Dracar, Cool Water, Michael Jordan 1, Michael Jordan 2, Polo, all these different type of oils he could get in. He had a plug and he getting them in and he's selling them and dudes is buying them hand over fist. Why? Dudes buying them for the smell good. Dudes buying them for to make incense to make their cell smell good. Dudes buying them to try to make the pod smell good. Dudes buying them to cover up the scent of that reefer smoking. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna sell. You know what I'm saying? Dudes buying it to put on for when they go to the visiting room. They go over there smelling like something, not smelling like the penitentiary. So it's a great commodity in the penitentiary. And they're getting a little bit and selling it for a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? They had the little Jones called like a dram. It won't no like bigger than this, man. You would get this, it costs you like probably like $25. $25 in the penitentiary, a whole lot of money. You get the one that's a little bigger, that's $50. You know what I'm saying? You get the one that's a little thicker, that's $100. So you got to think, and you got dudes in there getting them in there by the bottle like this. How much money they gonna make off of that selling this little bit for them prices? You dig? Yeah, they get money hand. And at the time, Big Will is he the oil man. At one point in time, Star was in the car with Will because they both from the same city. Star had got in the car and was getting the oil as well. You dig what I'm saying? But the oil was big money in the penitentiary. I'm telling you, it won't nothing for you to make a couple of G's a week in the penitentiary. You dig? And as we both know, a couple of G's a week out here a week in the street is good money. In the penitentiary, that's astronomical money. All this was coming off of oil. But Big Will was kind of heavy set, but he was respected because he was a G. He gonna go when he gotta go. He gonna go. If he had to pick that up and pick it up, he gonna pick it up. If you owe him some money, he want that money. He gonna be down on you about that money. You know what I'm saying? Where my money at, man? You owe me. You supposed to get this on store. He coming with it. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have to put up some resistance or something. He coming with it. But then at the same time, he on the same compound with a brother that's running around here freaking and leaking. But unlike Super D, Big Will gonna let you know, yeah, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? That's my brother. We come from the same mama, same daddy. Yeah. I know he on that freaky deaky, but ain't nobody gonna do nothing to him though. You ain't gonna do nothing to him. You got a problem with him, then I mean, what's the problem? Talk to me, and I can talk to him, but you ain't gonna do nothing to him. That was Big Will stand on the situation. You know what I'm saying? And I done seen him check his brother. Look, man, I done told you, man, you better stop running, man, with that thing up. Man, get over here. And Jingle ain't gonna put up resistance because I don't think they was like 2-3 years apart. But Big Will of checking. But he preferred you to, right, wrong, or indifferent, to come to him out of the respect that he had on the company. He preferred you to come to him before you try to hurt his brother. Because if you just go try to hurt his brother, whether his brother right, wrong, and he gonna try to hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And I can respect that. I can respect that he can't control his brother's sexuality, but at the same time, that's his blood brother, man. For him to be on the compound and let you do something to him, it's a reflection on him. It's a sign of weakness on him. I don't care what his brother doing. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I would feel the same way. So I always respected Big Will for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll be like, yeah, okay, I mean, what'd he do? Hey, man, no, he owed me some money because Jangle ain't had some con with him. I'm trying to tell you that right now. He just steal, rob, lie. No, he do all that. You know what I'm saying? He'll do all that. Get something from you, tell you he gonna pay you, don't pay you, whatever, and dudes be ready to get down on him. You know what I'm saying? But Will say, you come to me, I'm gonna straighten it, and he'll straighten it or whatever. But if you come to him and be like, look, man, I'm ready to F your brother up or whatever, he gonna be like, no, you ain't. I mean, what's up? What he did? Tell me what he did. What's going on? All right. What it takes to fix that? No, I don't want to fix it. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna gun him down when I see him. Well, we might well get busy right now. Then you don't do nothing to my brother. You know, and he mean that. You know what I'm saying? And to be fair, Jangalang ain't just gonna let you do nothing to him, whether he right or wrong. He's still not gonna just let you do nothing to him. Because I believe, if I ain't mistaken, even though I think Will was the oldest. Jangling was in the penitentiary first. You know what I'm saying? He was in there first. And if I ain't mistaken, they had another brother, a younger one. I think that was their brother too. They had a younger brother too, because he was on Mecklenburg with me. Yeah, I think his name was Walt. I think that was their brother too, a younger brother. He was on, and he was a go. I remember he had a thing one time with Shorty Pimp. You did. He had a situation with Shorty Pimp. He was a bigger dude than all of them. He was big, tall, light skinned, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he was younger than all. But I think that was their brother as well. But he was on another compound with. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that was his brother. So like I say, I done been in there with brothers like that, man. Different dynamics, this, that, and the third. I done been in there with twins. I can't even count all the twins. I would have to sit down and think about all the twins I done been in there with. You know what I'm saying? But I done been in there with twins. I done been in there with half brothers. I done been in there with dudes that call themselves brothers. Some dudes that call themselves brothers gonna go harder than the dudes that's real brothers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different dynamics, man. But it ain't nothing you can do if you in the penitentiary and your brother is either a dope fiend or he either on the gay tip or either he just mess with the boys or either he, you know what I'm saying, whatever he doing. Either gonna rock with him or you ain't, because you're not gonna be able to change that, because whatever the narrative is always gonna be out there. You just gotta decide where your loyalty gonna be. Is you gonna rock with him and you gonna go with him and you gonna hold it down like this my brother, woo. That's how Big Will carried it, and that's why I respected him, because he knew his brother was, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, lack of a better word, he knew his brother was on some tomfoolery. You know what I'm saying? He always trying to get an angle. He always approaching somebody inappropriately, where it could always be a situation. But he still was holding fast, like, man, that's my brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I just can't let you just do nothing to him. And I'm right here. What that say about me? You know what I'm saying? And then we'll have some dudes that was from out his way that was gonna ride with him as well. Not just saying like he was just this big bad wolf where he could just say something and people just, you know, because this is penitentiary, things happen. Some dudes don't care nothing about that. Some dudes, you mess with the wrong dude or the right one, they'll tell you where you can get it too. And they won't get it popping. But, you know, it is what it is, man. But those things happen, man. There's no scenario in it that you could think of that has not occurred in the penitentiary. They all have occurred, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the penitentiary and these things gonna happen. There ain't no way to get around it. But anyway, man, but shout out to the person who asked me that question, who put this story out there. I appreciate you, man. Y'all, like I say, talk to me, I talk back, man. That's the only way we can really conversate. Other than that, man, we just, you know, talking in the wind, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions, man. Leave a comment, hype the video, like the video, share the video. If y'all want to get to this meet and greet, man, I know I definitely do. Let's get it popping, man. TBP Nation, stand up, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions. Boom! Bam! Duck them hooks, man. You don't never know when they might come or where they coming from, but they out there. Boom.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.